I incorporate wikis into my course because I want my students to collaborate and share their knowledge to construct their own learning and help them become collaborative learners. I use wikis in both a sharing situation and a collaborative situation depending on the types of activities they do. So in one situation they might just share what they've learned, whereas in another they're actually helping each other learn by adding to an assignment, editing, giving feedback, and really working as a community of learners. When you're using wikis in your online class or your hybrid class, it's really important that you start out with a set structure. Students are not used to using wikis in an online environment. I think wikis get a really bad reputation, but if you set it up with a really set structure, have a rubric available up front, give examples for them, they're more likely to be successful. If you just throw up a page that is blank, I think students become really overwhelmed. I encourage you to encourage students to incorporate more than just text, because a wiki allows a student to use images, videos, hyperlinks, all sorts of tools that take them outside of Blackboard and into a more visual learning environment. One activity I do in my classes I call a KWA group wiki. K stands for what do you know now that you didn't know before. W stands for what do you still want to know. So maybe some content was unclear in the unit, or maybe something that they learned sparked additional curiosity and they want to know more. And then the A stands for how can you apply what you've learned. Students actually go in and answer those questions, and their peers in the wiki will answer each other's questions. And so it becomes this really cool document where students have logged what they've learned, what they still want to know about, and I think most importantly, how they can apply what they've learned. My students come from a variety of backgrounds, including the clinic, the home, the school, working with adults, working with little bitty babies, and they all come to the table with different experiences and how to apply the content in many different ways. The field of special education is so vast that it's important students know how to apply the content with more than just the one population they might be currently working with. What I found going from a face-to-face environment to an online environment, that students are actually more collaborative and they share more of their knowledge and experiences with the class in an online environment than they did in class. In class, I feel like you're confined to a 3-hour period of time, and there really isn't as much time for true collaboration and discussion as there might be online. We also have some students who maybe don't want to speak up in class. I was one of those, and so those students aren't going to share their voice, whereas in an online environment they do, and they feel safe. I think with today's population of students, they're more likely to engage in conversations online. Just look at Facebook, right? Everybody says everything they want to on Facebook, and we can actually take that opportunity for conversation and put it in an online learning environment, and wikis are one way that I've been able to do that. Moving from a face-to-face course to an online course can be really, really tough. I know that that might not be the type of learning that you're used to or the type of teaching that you're used to, but our students are. If you look at, as a society, where we've come in our presence online, that's where students are moving, and that's where a lot of the learning is happening. That's where a lot of the conversation is happening. I really encourage you to promote collaboration, feedback, a sense of community for your learners, and you can do this through things like wikis on Blackboard. You can do this through discussion boards. You can do this through some of those great tools that are online. It just takes some creativity. You probably have already done similar assignments in your classes or similar activities, and it's just reshaping them and reframing them to be available in an online environment.